Hi everyone, welcome to Aeon's End, Legacy of Gravehold. I'm Tom, and Rach is here.
Hello.
And we're going to be playing Chapter 1, basically. We haven't really opened it yet. Just to let you know, this is a Legacy game. There's going to be spoilers as soon as we start. So yeah, that's about to happen in a minute. We're going to have story, and then there'll be a game for you to watch. Everything is made possible thanks to patreon.com/slickerdrips. Oh, it's really zoomed in. If you would like to visit there and support what we do, then I can do more of it and it'll be brilliant. Thanks to all of the patrons out there that make this happen. So from this point on, story spoilers. We start off with a little warning. This is a Legacy game. Don't just go diving in. There are protocols to observe. But from then on, we are getting some story. So this will catch us up to the story from Legacy, New Age, Outcasts. Whatever point this will get us to where we are now in the story.
Previously, on Aeon's End. The story so far. Gravehold, the last bastion of humanity. The great underground city was thrown into chaos when a mage named Zaxos experimented with forbidden void magic and accidentally drew a powerful nameless called Maelstrom into the city. Even the combined strength of all the mages was not enough to defeat it, and a young prodigy named Desmodia was forced to sacrifice herself with one final attack that brought down not only Maelstrom but the entire city of Gravehold itself. The remaining mages made their way to the surface and set to work constructing a new city that would be called New Gravehold. Their leader, a mage called Brahma, had grown wary of the dangerous void magic that had destroyed their home and began exiling any mage who dabbled with it or who followed Zaxos' teachings. Zana, a good friend and old mage comrade of Brahma's, couldn't stand Brahma's strict edicts against magical experimentation. She left the city, travelling south. In her travels, Zana discovered that the people of Gravehold were not the only ones left in the world. As they had always assumed, the village of Azur was just one of several small communities spread out across the surface of their world. From the Azurians, Zana learned the art of glyph magic that can be used to influence and control Nameless themselves. She used this magic to try and attack New Gravehold with a Nameless called Necroswarm. She only made it as far as New Gravehold's southern outpost before Necroswarm was defeated, and the news that there was a traitor mage trying to overthrow Brahma spread like wildfire. Her identity, however, was largely unknown. Zana herself returned to the village of Azur and was joined by her son, Takrin, who had put together what had happened and wanted to hear her side of the story. Their group was then approached by Zaxos, who had been living in the void ever since his own disgraceful exile from New Gravehold. He had developed a way to travel safely through the void without incurring the dangerous, mind-altering effects of its atmosphere, and he asked Zana and her party to come with him into the void. His hidden goal was to defeat a Nameless which would collect the life essence of mages who died in battle and reconstitute them as monsters. Upon defeating this Nameless, the Fountain of Souls, Zana and Zaxos parted ways. Zaxos took the previously deceased mages, Desmodia, Arachnos and Thraxir, who had been partially turned into Nameless by the Fountain of Souls, while Zana left the void with her son and their friends. They returned to New Gravehold, intent on convincing Brahma to open up her mind to learning about the void.
And now we have a prologue. The actual Legacy story begins.
Aeon's End, Legacy of Gravehold, Prologue. The Hall of Elders is nearly empty this time of day, the sun slipping low enough to cast long beams of sunlight across the wooden floors. Brahma sits alone at her desk, finishing reading over a proposal to begin the training of the next generation of mages. Thinking of the young mages makes Brahma think of Desmodia, taken from Gravehold all too soon by her own heroic sacrifice in the battle against Maelstrom. Brahma lets the papers go lax in her grip as she thinks of the horrific events leading up to the fall. She'd considered Zaxos a trusted ally and a close personal friend, but his foolish experimentation with void magic had nearly cost them everything. Brahma has had to bury too many children. She can't let it happen again. It has been more than a month since she learned that there is a traitor mage amongst the Council of Elders. Every member of the council was someone Brahma had trained alongside or mentored personally, and before now she would have said she trusted them each with her life. But one of them had turned on their brethren and led Necroswarm to attack the southern outpost. Brahma didn't want to believe it, but she was too old to wallow in hopeful delusion. She trusted Zaxos too, and look where that had gotten her. No more trust. The door to the hall swings open and Brahma rises from her desk in shock as Zana strolls boldly inside. Brahma can barely make out the faces of her companions where they stand, silhouetted against the dark against the sun. The rest stay at the doorway while Zana approaches. Brahma retrieves her staff from where it sits leaned against her desk and goes to meet her halfway. Zana, Brahma begins, her voice betraying nothing. No one has seen you for over a month. Where have you been that was more important than protecting your home? New Gravehold is not my home. Our home was lost decades ago beneath the crumbling earth. Zana rests a hand casually on one of her dual blades and Brahma is too wise not to consider it a threat. Are you aware that there is a traitor to New Gravehold? Zana stiffens at Brahma's words. I am. Are you aware that you went missing just before that traitor mage was spotted? I'm aware of that as well. Brahma leans heavily against her staff. Sometimes her many years feel like too heavy a burden to bear. So you're not going to defend yourself? I didn't come here to defend myself, I came here to explain. Now you sound like Zaxos. Brahma shakes her head disappointed. Do you think you can justify the lives you took? Zana glares at Brahma, refusing to back down. I'd rather be with Zaxos than with you. At least he's attempting to change things for the better. You were with Zaxos? Brahma raises her eyebrow. Briefly. Recently. He took me into the void. Zana sweeps an arm behind her, encompassing the mages standing at the door. He brought all of us, and now I've come here to share what I've learned with you. Brahma, we can't ignore the void or the power there. It is drawing energy from our world, whether we like it or not. I don't know what the answer to humanity's salvation is, but I do know we are more likely to find it if we're not cutting ourselves off from half of the resources of our world. The void is what caused all of this in the first place. Brahma strikes her staff on the ground once, the sound ricocheting through the empty chamber. You meddle with dark forces you do not understand. You're putting everyone around you at risk, people I've sworn to protect. Maybe you can accept the people of South Post as acceptable losses for progress, but I cannot. What happened at the outpost was a tragedy, Brahma, but it wasn't my intention to... If the world ran on good intentions, we would still have Gravehold. Brahma turns away from Zana, walking back towards her desk. You betrayed me and your fellow mages. You are no longer welcome in New Gravehold. You can't just... Zana trails off. You can't just exile anyone who dares to disagree with you. What about the council? The council already ruled that anyone associated with Zaxos presents a real and present danger to this city and should be removed. Be grateful that I am not yet hunting you down for your transgressions. I refuse to allow a threat to New Gravehold to persist. Brahma turns her head, glancing at Zana from the corner of her eyes. You can leave of your own volition, or I can summon your fellow mages to have you removed. Zana's eyes burn with rage. This isn't over, she snaps, before turning around to storm out of the Hall of Elders.
Okay, so that is what leads us up to the first big choice of Legacy of Gravehold, in that there are two campaigns included with the game. There is the Azir book and the Gravehold book, and right now we need to decide which path we're going to go down. You can buy... I foolishly didn't get one with the Kickstarter. You can buy a reset pack like you could with the first Legacy, but it's probably even more worth it here because there are those two distinct paths which I assume aren't, are going to be completely different. We don't know at this point. So what do you reckon? What do you all think? So Gravehold will be siding with Brahma and nothing to do with the Void, it needs to be stopped. And the Azir campaign will be the outcasts, people that have unintentionally hurt breach mages to try and understand the void. What do you reckon? Yeah, so while we have a thing, if you're familiar with Aeon's End, everything's the same apart from some new things. Fire tokens. Some Nemesis cards will add fire tokens to your location. These tokens represent the destruction being done to the village where you're fighting. These tokens have two effects on gameplay. The players immediately lose the game if there are 10 or more fire tokens on your location. After you have finished fighting a nemesis, you'll receive some rewards. The more fire tokens there are, the fewer rewards you'll receive. Ether tokens. Certain player cards will allow you to gain ether tokens. If you have them, you can use them during your turns as ether. Each one is worth 1. When you use the token, discard it.
Oh no.
But in the draw phase, any you haven't spent will be discarded.
Okay.
Cross out on page 23.
Oh, whatever could that mean?
Some cards will instruct you to cross out a sentence or option on the card. When this happens, use a pen or marker to cover over that text. and in the future ignore anything that's been crossed out. And boost and overheat. Oh, here we go. So they both mean to use a pen or marker to permanently fill in a circle in this section of the card. Boost is a positive effect. It improves the card for future uses. Overheat is a drawback. When a card has too many overheat marks, it will cause you harm. If all the circles are filled, the card is fully boosted or overheated. During setup, order supply piles that contain boost or overheat cards, so the copies with the most marks are on the bottom. When you gain cards from a supply pile, you have to gain from the top. So that's all of the new concepts that are brought in, and you can see like they're the fire tokens, they're the ether tokens, and there's some returns of some things that we've put in before. Do you reckon, Rach? Are you on board with going on Gravehold, or were you thinking as a
Which do you think I was thinking?
Gravehold?
Really?
Or are you thinking
I would start with the bad guys. No, go Gravehold.
Gravehold?
We're doing it for the people. Doing it for the fans.
Well, maybe we'll reset one day and find out what happened the other way. Right, so let's have a look at what's happening in Gravehold then.
Really, Kadir, you're an adult. Can you try to have a bit of decorum? Malastar takes his wife by the shoulder and pulls her back away from the jewellery display she's rooting energetically through. Kadir grins. Don't you just find it fascinating how ether can come together in so many unique shapes and forms, contain immense power, and also be so incredibly shiny? Malastar looks over at Kadir, exhausted. You are why our daughter is so gem crazy. Kadir snickers. Oh, come on, it's taken long enough to get the markets up and running here. We might as well enjoy them. I've missed the dirt market so much, I'm owed a little bit of overindulgence. Fine, Malastar says with a long-suffering sigh. Besides, Kadir teases, you're the gem crazy one here. That is entirely on you. My work with gems is purely professional, Malastar huffs, crossing his arms. And I've never caught you cooing over them in your workshop. Malastar's cheeks redden and he scowls. Giving them little voices, Kadir continues mockingly. All right, I give in. I'm a little invested in my gems. Malastar wraps an arm around his wife and pulls her into his chest, pressing a kiss to the side of her head. You win. Aw. Ah, Kadir, Malastar, did you come to see the new market too? Malastar and Kadir look forward to seeing Gygar, standing beside the gigantic metal form of his friend, Lost. We did, Malastar replies. Good to see you both return safe from your trip to the ruins of Gravehold. The excavation process is really coming along, Gygar says, his eyes sparkling. Your daughter is a wonder with the pickaxe. I expect we'll be heading back to rejoin her and Nook out there in a few days. Portal, says Lost, his voice creaking out from beneath the suit of the armour encasing his form. Gygar looks up in confusion. What was that, Lost? Portal, Lost repeats, more emphatically. Kadir looks past him and sees a thin purple line cracking down through the open air in the middle of the market. Portal! Everybody run! The merchants and market-goers start to run as Malastar and Kadir shoulder their way forward, weapons drawn to face whatever monstrosity is about to come out of the breach. The tear widens until it is a vivid purple swirl, and a figure steps out from it, human-shaped but obscured by draping robes. Is that Zaxos? Gygar turns to Kadir, mouth gaping. I've heard all kinds of fascinating tales about Zaxos walking out of void breaches. Is that him? It doesn't look like him, Kadir says slowly. Oh no, certainly not, the figure says, and the voice that comes out is unmistakably female. But I must admit, he wasn't entirely on the wrong track. He simply lacked the proper intentions. The creatures of the void are so powerful, so useful. We will show you exactly how dangerous they are capable of becoming. We? Malastar glances around the deserted square. From behind the woman, liquid purple creatures ooze out of the portal. The children of the void are each unique. You have lived alongside them for centuries, and yet you never even bothered to learn their names. The woman lifts a large black book, the leather cover deeply embossed with glittering silver runes. I, however, know all their names, and I know how to harness them.
So we've got some instructions. We're about to fight the Bishop of Scrolls. Open envelope 11. Envelope 11, these are our mages for the game. So, Lost, right?
Oh, my bag.
Kadir, Malastar, and Gygar. I assume we're choosing 2 out of those. This has got our starting supply in it. So we'll set that up, have a look at it when it's all out. Deck 1B is the starter cards and turn order cards for our mages. And then we're told to open envelope 1, which has inside the Bishop of Scrolls and their divider, all set up. And we have a little bit of setup for the Bishop of Scrolls. He's got this deck of unnamed. At the start of the game, we need to put 2 into play, but if it's a 1, 2, or 3 play game, we put a 3rd into play and resolve their immediately effects. Minion, unnamed. Immediately, choose a 5-letter name and write it here.
James could be a name.
Call one James.
Call one Mal. No, I don't know.
Come up with 5-letter versions of your names.
Just
Right
Mart or something. Martc, Mort. There he is.
So there we go, we've got James. Oh, and open deck E and read this card. Metamorphosis event. Write the name you chose for this on the next card. If that name starts with a vowel, cross out the first persistent effect. Otherwise, cross out the second persistent effect. Then, place that card under the Bishops of Scrolls Nemesis mat and banish this card.
So it doesn't start with a vowel, so we cross out number 2.
Okay, so if it had started out with a vowel, this minion would gain Unleash. It gains a shield token, but instead it's going to be another minion in play gains 2 life, and a player suffers a damage. So we're crossing something out.
Good.
So this is like the creation of these things. Okay. Next one, minion unnamed. If there is no name below, choose a 6-letter name and write it here. All the words I'm thinking of are too long.
But very
You can call
creative
it.
here.
You don't have to call it any.
Very
You don't have to call it a
creative here.
name. You can call it anything.
Tomato.
Really, we don't need to write it on this bit, do we?
Well,
I suppose it might come into later. So it never says to write it there.
I won't then.
Write the next letter
In the name you chose for this card.
on the name line. Oh, okay. So every time this minion has a turn, we write a letter on the top. And then when the name is complete, we read this card.
Ooh, nice.
So, right underneath it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, place that
it's
card
like-
under the map.
Its additional rules talk about things that are under its mat. So that one just stays in play then, right? When an unnamed is placed into play, do not resolve its persistent effect during the Nemesis thing this turn. When it's discarded, it goes in the unnamed discard pile. When the deck is empty and one would be drawn, shuffle the discard pile. If there are none available at all, resolve the persistent effect of every unnamed in play. If there are ever none in play, and no cards at all in the discard pile or draw pile for a unnamed, we lose. At the end of the game, if there are 8 or more cards under this mat, randomly banish cards until there are 7. At the end of the game, if there are fewer than 5, resolve the persistent effect of the unnamed with the most letters in its name until there are 5 cards under this mat. At the end of the game, once there are 5 to 7 cards under the mat, place all of the cards under this mat into envelope 15. So we've got minion unnamed. Immediately, if there is no name below, choose a 5-letter name and write it here.
Somebody
Scrum.
Scrum.
It's called Scrum.
Write it on that little line then.
So these ones stay out, and on their turns, they will get their names
They're
written
slowly
down.
going to...
But their persistent effect doesn't happen until... So that's the bishop's setup, and I think we're good to have our turn. So who's going first? Did I shuffle this?
Get this off. I think so.
I think I did. Nemesis is going first. So first up, we've got some writing of their names, doing their persistence effects.
What, just first letter?
First letter of each of their names. And then they get a power card. So to discard, spend 6 money. And in 2 turns' time, unleash Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Add a fire token to your location on the map.
We haven't been
Should-
told to get the map yet.
Yeah. Have a look, get the rulebook. Should the game have told us? Also, there's no map in the previous Aeon's End games you've played, so you might want to look up rules for a map.
Map, this shows the world where this game takes place. Do we need it?
Is it something we permanently need to have out?
You may be asked to write or stick it on the map.
Yeah, I think we've got space for it. It won't be on
Set
camera.
the map to one end of the play area, put the fire tokens next to the map.
Where are we in New Gravehold?
Yeah.
Okay, so next turn, Nemesis. So write the next names in.
Nice shuffle.
Next thing comes out, and we've got a new card. Dire Proclamation. Power 2. Nothing we can do about this one. Power 2. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. If there are 2 or less unnamed in play, unleash twice. Otherwise, resolve the persistent effects of 2 unnamed in play twice. Okay. So then, I'm 2, aren't I? So I've got 3 crystals, a spark, and a gem. Might as well prep my spark. My Zanite, gain an ether, reveal the top card of the inventions deck. If it's a relic, gain an ether and then put it on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so I might as well do this then. So I've got 4 money, but I might get a bit more. So it is a relic, so gain an ether and put that at the bottom of that deck. So I've got 5 to spend. Have a look at what our market is. So Scrying Sugilite. Gain 2 ether. You may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a spell, get an additional. Cobalt Clump. gain 2 ether. Next time you gain a card that costs 5 or more this turn, silence a minion. Ether Dust, gain 2 ether. Each ally gains an ether token. Electrum Rod, any player may focus one of their breaches. If any player has a prepped spell that costs 5 or more, gain a charge. Chaos Charm, 2 different players can destroy a card in their hand. You may destroy this. If you do, remove a fire token from your location on the map. Grassblade, destroy this from your hand during any ally's main phase to draw a card, or it deals 2 damage. It's very cheap. Fractured Lightning, deal 5 damage. Reveal the top card of the Nemesis deck. If it's an attack or power, overheat this card. If the card is fully overheated, destroy it and the Nemesis unleashes. So very powerful for cheap, but there's a risk. Cascade, deal 3 damage. You may return a card that costs 4 or less from your discard pile to your hand. And the only one I can't afford, Rainbow Surge, deal 5 damage. If it causes a minion to be discarded, boost it. Gain 1 life for each boost mark on it. Okay. Always like to start off with some money. I could get the Grassblade and just a little bit of money. I suppose the Ether Dust helps you get an Ether token, but the Ether Dust would be incredible in a 4-player game. But I think, yeah, I'm going to buy the Sugilite and then the Grassblade. And that's all of my stuff, I think. I'll put it in that order. And the Sparks prepped. So next up is going to be Rach. I did shuffle them.
Tis me. Okay.
But if that was me, I definitely didn't shuffle them. But I did.
So I've got a bronze ingot as my special card this turn. There are 5 more spells in my discard pile. Gain an additional 2 money, so that'd be good later on. It just gives me 1 for now. So I'm going to prep 2 spells because I've got 2 open breaches. And then I think I'm going to buy the scrying orb thing because I'm going to try and just ram a load of spells in because I need lots of spells. So that'll be good because I'd probably get a lot of extra money.
Okay. Next up is Rach again.
Not ready. Okay. So I can
should have the help.
I can do 2 damage to some things.
I missed my dice.
So I guess do 2 damage to
Tomato or Scrum?
the Scrum because he's closer to
Okay.
filling out. Keep you.
Oh yeah, thanks. There's no power tokens in there.
So
Okay.
I've got 3 crystals, spark, and then this spell, when I cast it, I can either do 1 damage or cast it to gain 2 ether that can be used to buy just a spell. It's quite nice. So Lost has turned into like a really nice attacker, I guess.
Yeah.
So I've got 3. Should we get a focus breach card?
Yeah.
I think get that early.
Yeah, they're usually very useful.
Get it early.
And then that means it's going to be me last. Rach, yeah, shuffle that one in your thing. So I haven't done my hand either, have I? So my spark goes off, and I might as well deal the last damage to that minion. So that goes in the unnamed discard pile. Then I've just got 2 sparks, 3 crystals. I don't have 2 open breaches, so I could just open a second breach right now. It's better than having it hanging around in my hand. Yeah, I do want to just buy some more money and try and get rid of that power or something, but I think in the long run I'll be glad that I've got 2 open breaches. I think I'll just open that breach. That's my crystal spent, and that's my turn. Who's next, Rach? I was going to shuffle that then.
'Tis you.
Functional Kali, by the way. 3, 4, 5. Right. So, a couple of crystals. I've got my Zanite. Oh, my sparks should go off then, shouldn't they? They don't have to, but I'm going to set them off. Especially because I've got a spell I want to prep in a minute. So 2 damage can go on Toe.
Tomato.
We only know 2.
Tomato,
Don't know the rest of
tomato.
that name yet.
Potato, potato.
And then Grassblade can get prepped. So I've got this Sugilite. Reveal the top card of your deck. It is not a spell, so I don't get an additional 1. But that is 2, 3, 4 ether. 5. And if this top card of my invention deck is a relic, I gain another 1. So what is it at the moment? It's 5. It's not a relic, so 5. But that's a decent amount of money. Oh, if it had been a relic, or the top card of my deck had been a spell, I could have got rid of that power, but unfortunately we've got 5, so I'm tempted to do the same again to get that money
Beef it up.
and Grassblade just for like early 2 damage spells. The Fractured Lightning's very nice. Chaos Charm, I don't really want to be destroying cards this early on, but then maybe I go for an Electrum Rod and the Grassblade. So we've got a couple of Focus Your Breach.
Yeah, because later on
cards
it'll give
in
us
there.
charges as well.
Yeah, and we can always get rid of them. So I bought them. That's all of my cards spent. I will put them in a nice order.
Is that it?
I think so.
It's you again.
Oh, lovely. 3, 4, 5. So I can do the last damage to 2 and get rid of it. Oh, that is wasting a damage, but
Probably worth it, just in case.
we don't know what's going to happen yet. It's going to be a surprise. So I've still got 4 money, not enough to get rid of the power. I've just got a standard spark. So with 4 money, I could go for that fractured lightning. That is a lot of damage, isn't it? There is a risk later on. Because the other benefit of that chaos charm is getting rid of fire, isn't it? Or I could go for a cobalt clump that's going to help me if I start gaining good card. I might get a fractured lightning, you know.
May as well.
I'm going to live dangerously, get a fractured lightning, and we'll see what chaos that's going to cause. And that's me done for a while.
Me. So, deal a damage to the bishop.
Straight to the bish.
Now.
49 health.
Do I cast that? Because I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8. I could buy a rainbow surge. Oh man, gonna do that.
7 money.
Cast this to gain 2 ether for a spell.
Yeah.
So then, because I was wondering whether just do the damage or. So that's 2.
It's only 1 damage, isn't it? If you can buy
3, 4, 5. I know I haven't got 5 or more spells, so there's no point doing that yet. 5. I can do that. If it's a spell, I get an extra. It is 6, 7, 8. So 8 money. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
It's got 8 money.
Oh, I'm just buying this anyway.
5 damage spell that only gets better.
I would have 6 this too.
Yeah, you could get rid of the power.
And then just buy this.
Yeah, the grass is another spell,
So I
isn't
could
it?
still do the 2 on this, and I would have 6 for that. Let's just do that.
Plain it
Forgot. And then I can prep that there.
Probably best in the long
Probably
run.
for the best.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide what order to put that
And
in.
then it's you again.
Why can't I work out what way around my deck is? There we go. I'm trying to put that so it's near a spell just in case. Right, so me again. So deal the damage to the bishop.
He's on 48.
So you say, you opened a breach. So about what do you want to do? You've bought a lot of spells, though, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, we could just use... We're probably the same at the moment, aren't we?
You just do yours. You do yours. Why not?
Well, why don't we just...
Do our own.
Why don't we both focus on opening yours, because yours is a step closer.
Yeah, okay.
Your 3.
So I'll focus my breach.
Because the spell is any player can focus one of their breaches. So is that closer or is that further away? That's further away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Down is closer. It doesn't matter. Just do your 4. If we both work on it and get it open, then we can do one of
So
mine.
I've done that. Prep that. And then I've got 3 money.
3 crystals. Yeah, because it's
For now.
it's very focused on having things that are worth 5 or more, isn't it? So unfortunately, we've got Nemesis in a row. So a power token comes off there, and then a new card is the Fevered Scribe. Immediately unleash. So draw a card from the unnamed deck and place it into play. So we have an unnamed minion. Immediately, if there is no name below, choose a 4-letter name.
Well, I mean,
Right,
we promised Matt.
Oh yeah,
So.
we promise Matt. This minion suffers damage equal to the number of players in the game.
Oh, because it's fevered.
So
It's fevered.
got 1.
It's not concentrating.
And then every turn, any player suffers a damage, resolve the persistent effects of an unnamed in play twice. Dear, that's going to happen, isn't it? Because then, so that's 1 Nemesis turn, and then next turn is another one. So first up, power token comes off. Dire Proclamation goes off. Gravehold suffers 3 damage, so it's on 27 health. If there are 2 or less unnamed in play, unleash twice. So we've got a 5-letter name on a minion, so the shield prevents a source of damage. We found out that
Just
last
one
didn't we?
time.
Yeah, so no matter how much damage you did to it, the shield negates. So you want
whole
to try and
thing.
just do 1 damage
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get rid of that. So 5-letter name reach.
Why is it so
That's
hard?
4.
Why
I
is it so
can
hard?
think of 4 and 6-letter names.
I'm trying to think of one that begins with a vowel. 'Cause
Well, in case you get asked again.
Oh, you never know.
If it started with a vowel or not.
apple.
Apple.
Yeah. Both my on-the-spot names have been food as well. It's a bit of insight there.
So that was just unleashing once, wasn't it? Unleashing another time. We've
Like
got
Batman.
a 5-letter name.
Spider-Man. I think call him Spider.
Spidey.
Yeah, because he's doing like a Spider-Man pose.
Yes, really.
What are you putting?
I suppose Spidey.
Oh, is it
without a name.
4? No, it's a 5.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3,
you've
4,
counted,
5.
you've counted wrong, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, we're just gonna. He's a monster. He's gonna have to just lose the E.
I mean, technically that's Spiddy. That's how you sound that out.
Oh, that. Oh, okay. Yes, thank you. Yeah, not that minion takes the damage. The Fevered Scribe takes the damage.
Yeah, Matt doesn't take the damage.
I do not like the tokens.
Well,
Still
you should've
sticking
kept
with
the
these tiny
dice.
tokens. Well, I wanted to show like what the actual game
I
would
know.
have. So that's done
That was
with.
that.
These two aren't going to happen the turn that they come out. They're persistent things. Just like any minion. That says on their board. So someone suffers a damage and resolve the persistent effects of an unnamed in play twice. If they're all right, the next letter.
Where's the ones? I'll take those.
Okay. I suppose maybe Matt, because we could... He hasn't got a shield, so I'm
Kill him
thinking.
quicker.
He's only got a 4-letter name. We could just choose someone else next time. But his thing is going to go off, though. So maybe not. Maybe we do it on... Yeah, because he's going to go, because he came out a previous turn. So maybe do it to one of these.
Do it to Apple.
Yeah, Matt gets an M as well. Right, so that's everyone that's come out. And then an attack, Unleash.
Wow.
What's going on? So another 5-letter name.
It's your turn. I'm not doing another one.
Pops.
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 What? Pops.
So he just comes out, got 3 health. Then, any player suffers 2 damage and discards a card in hand. I guess I've got 3 spells, so I could do that. Discard a spark. I want to suffer 2 damage. If that card costs 2 or less, suppose I'll discard my grass blade that... Oh no, that costs
Add
2
a
or
fire
less.
token.
I could discard
Yeah.
the electrum. Oh no. Yeah, I could discard the electrum rod, and then we won't have a fire token. All right then. That's everything, I think, at last. Then what should be Nemesis again? It is a bit much. Right. Any player suffers a damage.
Okay.
Resolve the persistent effects of a minion in play twice. So I suppose do that one.
Spiddy, we're coming.
But it's gonna go off again though. Like they're all gonna go off.
Alright.
There's not a lot we can do. So, and then do all of them.
Oh yeah.
They all happen. And then it's time for another minion. It's luckily they're all coming with shields.
Seems crazy.
This was tested with 2 players, right? And then that's gonna unleash and add fire tokens when it's its turn, which potentially is now. Yeah, so 4 Nemesis turns in a row, and I suppose
Pops.
just do one of these and make them go off.
Okay, let's complete Matt.
No, do one with a shield on it,
Oh, I see what you mean.
because that's going to be harder to kill, isn't it? If they've got a shield on them.
Alright.
So you need to do letters on
Oh,
that one first, and then when it gets to Apple, you read the card.
just miss it out while I do this. Okay, what's Apple say?
Read
What
card
number?
L2E10. So, Metamorphosis, write the name you chose for this card on this new card. If the name contains the letters E, L, N, R, S, or T, cross out the first persistent effect.
Okay. We're crossing out any player suffers 1 damage and discards a prep spell, and we are leaving Unleash.
So we have the second effect, and then that goes under the mat, and this card is banished. So this new one goes under the mat. Okay. They've all gone. The Colwhelp Unleash, and they put a fire token where we are. And then a new minion, 4 letters. Brum.
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 You've got the little pen.
Like the
I know the
lovely,
car.
friendly car.
He should have been called Pop. Look at him. Look at that. Look at that minion.
So that's that, and then it still hasn't played a card yet. It seems really weird. It's had...
Unleash again.
Oh, this isn't going to go like Legacy 1, is it? So any player suffers 2 damage as well.
Me, I guess, because I've got
But
my...
if there's no cards left, we lose this game. A 5-letter name. Zippy. No, not Zippy.
Resolve the persistent effect of an unnamed in play twice. Who am I doing?
I've got no... To be honest, I've got no idea what is even going on here. This playthrough might well be over. At least we got 4 turns.
Well, can we choose one of the ones that's only got 1, or do we have to choose one that needs 2 on it? Because it says we have to do it twice, but 2 of these only need 1 more. So could we get away with only doing 1? I
don't think so, because...
Okay, suppose.
It would just be resolve the persistent effect of an unnamed in play and do it twice. So I suppose do it on... These aren't going to go off yet, are they? Are they?
No, because that's the end of the turn.
They've just been brought in, haven't they? Both of those.
Yeah, that's his end of his turn now.
So do Rum, I guess. Okay, now we get turns, as if that matters. So I've got a spark.
Just kill a shield or something.
I suppose, yeah, this Colwhelp's putting fire out and unleash it. Yeah, but there are 2 cards left in the unleash deck. It's just if there are no cards left in that deck, we lose the game. And then I'm left with 3 spells and 2 breaches. There's no point playing this because it can only give me 2 at the most. So that's my awful, awful turn. So I discarded the Focus of Breach card. Rach.
Okay, just knock a shield off summit. Preppy. Preppy. Tempted just to... I can't focus, I ain't got enough money.
Yeah, you can play the monies and get rid of them. You just have to hang on to a spell.
So 2 money, but I'm going to get a charge.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to get a charge. Is that a charge token? Don't know.
Yeah, the blue ones are. Right, me. So I can do 3 damage to something. So I can call Whelp. Then I've got a spark from last time. I've got 2. Is the top card of my deck a spell? Yes. 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is not a relic. Yes, 6 money. So there's no powers to be done. Can't afford a Rainbow Surge, unfortunately. I think either like a Fractured Lightning and a charge, or a Cascade. I think a Cascade. Hopefully it can come in when I've got things in my discard pile. Yeah, and just waste 1 money. I could have got an extra money, I could have got a charge, but I was unlucky. So that's that for me. And Rach, you're the last one, aren't you?
Okay. It's a shame you couldn't do another damage, because that Fevered Scribe makes something happen twice.
Yeah.
I can't kill it. I can kill Matt.
Yeah.
Or I can do 3 damage to the Fevered Scribe.
I would get rid of one of the minions, because like at least then there would be something to bring back when...
Okay, I will cast my Grass Blade
when
and my
leaks a
Molten
million times
Forge
again.
on Matt. You're not devouring our souls right now, I'm afraid.
We got this.
Preppy. Top card isn't a spell. Bummer. So 4, 5 money. I am going to buy the Cascade.
Yeah, let's bring some cards back. Who's it going to be? Me. So I've got a Spark. I'll start working on the Scribe. And I haven't looked at my hand. Got some crystals. There's my Fractured Lightning. So that can go out. Deal some extra damage. I've got 3 crystals. I feel like I should buy some charges. Just then I waste some money. And I could get like an Electrum Rod or some more money. I think some more money. I want a Rainbow Surge. Heal me back up. And that goes there. Get rid of my crystals. That's a turn. Who's next, Rach?
Nemesis.
Ugh. So, the Scribe, I suppose, do that on Zippy. Because he's only got 1 letter in there. And then Spidey finishes. So finish his name and find card 12 in that deck.
12.
So write the name of the you chose for this card on card 13.
Who's this? Spidey.
If the name contains 5 unique letters, which it does, write 3 in the blank in the persistent and 10 in the life section. Otherwise, write 4 in the blank and 7 in the life section. Then place it under the Bishop of Scrolls.
I'll share this then. So he's now got 10 health and he does 3 damage.
Otherwise, he would have had 7 health and caused 4 damage. Okay, but that card is banished. So then they all need a letter, and we'll see a new card, and it's going to be Devil's Pact. What? Tiny text. As long as there are at least 2 options remaining on this card, cross out the option you chose after resolving this card. Either Gravehold suffers 5 damage, any player suffers 5 damage, the players discard the 3 most expensive prepped spells, or unleash twice, the players collectively lose 3 charges. I would say that, because we only lose 1 charge.
If we don't have 3 charges.
I would say so. We're not paying them, are we? It's not like a cost to be able to do something. Just because we haven't got 3 charges to lose, I would go for that. Maybe we're not allowed to, I don't know.
2 peeps come out.
Or Gravehold suffers 5 damage. It's just then we might...
I think just say lose 3 charges. Or...
Yeah, so cross that out because we've picked it, and then when the deck's empty, you shuffle it, and 1 comes out. So unfortunately, this is going to be one with
I suppose we have to think about like in the future.
Yeah, that's a basic card, so that's going to come out.
Those are the choices. Like the 2 that we don't choose the first 2 times, they'll always be the only choices.
Yeah. Because that's a basic Nemesis card, so that will come in. It's an upgraded basic card as well, right from the start. So there we go. A new minion comes out. Oh, it's unleashed twice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's only 1 more card that can come out, and then we lose. So, Rach, can you kill one?
Nope.
So...
I need 2 damage. So I guess 2 damage on Brum.
Yeah.
Focus a Breach. With that.
It's about to go off.
Prep a Spark, and I've got 3 money.
Yeah. Oh, there is a rule that means you can't do that. Oh well, we know for the future now, but that's been permanently marked.
I just imagined in my head. Guess I'll buy this.
Some damage, and you again.
Okay, well, kill Brum.
Yep.
So that's drag that out a bit more. So, preppy. Just can't prep that one as well. 2 money. Do I have 5 or more spells in my discard pile? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh.
Not quite. But you could hang on to that. I suppose you wouldn't be able to do anything this turn though if you did. 2 money. It's a grass blade.
I'm gonna get a charge. Although technically I guess I should pay for one and not get one, but hey ho. Not doing that.
Maybe. It's not even takebacks, it's just outright cheating.
No, we can't take it back, unfortunately.
Nemesis, unfortunately, so my damage sits there, and depending on how many times it unleashes, this might be it.
That's what we deserve.
So,
cheating.
Suffer a damage. I suppose I'll suffer that. And someone... Is it twice? I suppose... Tomato's the furthest away from going off, and then just fill in all the names, and then we'll see what the new card is.
I nearly just called him scum.
Otherling. When this is discarded, banish it. Unleash, any player suffers a damage. You've got the 5 range.
Oh, 2. He's a biggie.
And then me. So I can do 7 damage.
I feel like we're getting nowhere because we ain't done 2 damage to the actual bishop.
I wonder if this is one where you're just supposed to feel hopeless and you're supposed to just lose it. I don't know. So I've got to reveal the top card of the Nemesis deck. It's a power. So the card gets overheated. And then, so that's just done its damage. And then I'll focus my thing with the Electrum Rod so that I can prep a spell.
Oh, where did Marty go?
To my breach.
How dare he? He's not happy with the cheating.
And I'll just play this crystal to get rid of it. And that's that. It's going to be Nemesis. Of course it is.
That scribe, man. They kill him.
So I suppose just...
Finish scrum.
I suppose just finish these 2 off because they're going to finish themselves up anyway.
Okay, Pops. You're out of here. Zippy, you're out of here. Right, what Pops?
14. So write the name you chose. Write the number of consonants in that name in the shield section of the card. Minimum 1. 4.
Or is it 3 individual consonants because we've got 2 P's?
It doesn't say the number of different consonants.
Okay, 4 then. Fine.
That seems wild. Yep. So... I suppose it's unlikely that you would... Well, it's a name, so you can say anything. It doesn't have to be a real word. It could be the difference between 1 and 5 shields. Maybe it'll all turn out. Okay.
Pass me Pops.
And then card 18. So, write the name you chose. If the name contains any of the letters in the word unnamed, it doesn't. Cross out the second effect on the card. And then that goes away, and that comes in here. And then they go off and unleash, and one of us suffers a damage.
Well, Tomato's grown up now. I'll take the damage. So Tomato levels up.
Okay, so card 4. Maybe we should have just named them AAAAA. Although one of them did. Some of it's just choices, isn't it? But where it's like an increased... The number of shields is the number of consonants. That seems wild. So write the name you chose. Write the number of vowels in that name in the blank, minimum 1. So that's 3. Subtract the number you wrote in that blank from 14. Write that number in the life section of the card. Then place that card under the mat.
And Tomato really leveled up. 11 health. It's what mind the ink. I don't know if it's a bit smudgy.
And then it hasn't drawn a card yet.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah, it's a different situation, but we've had this in Legacy games before where we're spending 90% of the time not doing our turns. And it's frustrating. So to get rid of this, discard 4 of your cards, or we lose the game because we can't. Because we can't unleash twice because there's only 1 card in the discard pile. And if it's a Nemesis turn next, we lose.
It's me.
Right.
So buy everything. Okay, I'll get. First of all,
you could risk it.
No, I'm not risking it. So I can do 3 damage.
Yeah. Should you want to do that to the scribe?
It's just annoying because I've got nothing in my discard pile. Hang on. Do this first.
Oh yeah, and that puts it into your discard
pile. 2 damage to something.
I suppose that's making things unleash, but really, like,
then
these are going to remove themselves from the deck and then
deal 3 damage to the scribe, and then I return a card that's 4 or less from a discard to my hand. Right. Discard 4 cards to get rid of that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's banished. Oh no, it didn't go off. So I suppose we don't banish it.
Is the top card a spell? Yes. So that's 3 money. get that, and I've got 3 money, and I'm gonna get a charge.
Okay, then me. So I've got 4 damage. So I can just do 1 to the otherling, and that'll stop it unleashing all the time as well. When this is discarded, banish it.
Goodbye.
So that's a spark going off. And then I can do 3 more damage. So, sorry, Matt.
Try again later.
That's that taken care of.
How the turns have tabled.
And then I've got Cascade has finally come out. Then my Scrying. Is this a spell? Yes. So that's 3. 4, 5, 6. Is this a relic? No. So I've got 6. Not enough to get the Rainbow Surge again. I could just get some charges. Maybe I'll get some charges. It gives you a card.
Might be a cool spell. It might be something.
I suppose I know what's on the bottom of the deck.
Not so cool.
Well, if I'd looked at it more carefully. Gain 5 money. Master may return a card that costs 3 or less from his discard pile into his hand.
It's not too bad, is it? Not too shabs. That's like almost the price for Rainbow Surge.
Nemesis. So that's finished.
Oh, scrum.
So card 6 from that deck.
I don't know why I'm filling him in, because he's banished anyway. 6.
So if the name contains any letters Q, X, Y, or Z, write Gravehold in the blank. No, it doesn't. Otherwise, write any player. Then place that card under the map. Okay. And then its card. Gravehold suffers 4 damage. If there are 2 or more unnamed in play, resolve their effects twice. Otherwise, unleash twice. So shuffle the discard pile.
We're basically lost, aren't we? Because
If it unleashes again, yeah. But like these are just spinning around now.
I got to waste all our damage on them.
So that's just done with.
Well, Nemesis has been twice, so at least we've got 2 goes.
Yeah.
You.
I can deal 3 damage, so I guess. Sorry, mate.
So no one saw that.
I can return a card that costs 4 or less from my discard pile to my hand. So I think just the Fractured Lightning. Wait a minute. Oh, these are my cards from last time. I've got a Standard Spark. I don't know how many more times I'll be going through the deck. So I'll just get charges and set this off. I'll do the top of my deck. Maybe it's a spell. It is a spell. Meteor Strike, deal 6 damage. I may draw 2 cards, but then I have to discard 2 cards.
You could discard
I guess
cheapy
that's.
crystal.
I guess that's not
Does that
nothing.
go in my hand?
Yeah, that goes in your hand. Oh, do I get a new deck if I need to reveal as well? It was a spell, so I get 2 money, which I won't buy a Grass Blade. I'll start my next charge thing with. So the last one's you.
2 damage.
On.
Brum.
Bro. Yeah, we've got to
Okay.
basically desperately keep them cycling there because they're the only 2.
Preppy. Okay, I'm going to focus. Forget the prepping, that there. Focus, a breach. Preppy,
Yeah,
that there.
It's a bit much just in constantly go and find this
Preppy.
card and write a thing on it. It's cool, but
Preppy.
half as much would have been cool.
Oh, I'm taking that right back. Because I can prep that there before I do this.
Yeah.
And then I've already got a prep spell.
And then you'll gain a charge, okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't need go on the +1.
No.
I don't know why I did that. So I gain a charge. I always think that, and then unless it's like got an extra thing, it doesn't matter, does it? Then I've got 2 money. So I'm going to get a charge.
It'll probably be cool later on when they come back.
I can use this to do 4 damage. If I don't do it, I have to take my discard pile back, so I can't do it. Or do I save it? Do you know what I mean? Next turn it'll be worth nothing.
Yeah.
It'll be worth 3, I suppose. But then I can't gain charges, which I think do 4 damage. We'll hold
To the
it.
boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. You could do it to the minion.
So I've got 4 spells in my discard pile at the min.
Yeah.
I just don't want to just not use it, and then could have gained some charges.
Yeah. So next turn, the Nemesis. And this might be where we lose. So he finishes. Yeah, we lose if there are no unnamed in play, the discard, or the deck, but there is 1 other unnamed card left.
Yeah, I guess I should
So
have just wasted that damage.
if it ever unleashes twice, we lose.
Yeah, I should have just wasted that damage and put it on there. 16, although I think we're just delaying the
I think it
inevitable
got a
again.
lot of turns in a row there. So write the name, text size. Look at all this blank space. Make your text size a bit bigger. Write the name of the player in the game whose name is next alphabetically after that name. So they're banished. And that goes under the mat. And then, I haven't done a card, has it? Pale Reckoner, 4 shields. This minion loses a shield token for each player in the game. Any player suffers 2 that's when it goes off. So me, I suppose I'll do the spark to it, and I'll do my 5 damage to the boss. And it is a bad power. So gets another dot on it. So that goes off. Then I've got spells. I will prep my own breach again so I can put all of the spells in. And then this crystal I'll just discard. I think that's the same hand as I had last time. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's my turn. Rach. So at least it's only got 1.
I can kill it. Or I could... We should kill it.
We don't really know what fire tokens do we?
We should probably kill it, shouldn't we?
Probably.
I could do 8 damage to the boss. Or I could kill the minion.
Probably should kill it.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
I'm guessing fire tokens we really don't
chuck
want.
this on that to get rid of the shield. Then I do 6, 7, 8 damage.
Yeah.
You can draw 2 cards if you want and discard 2 cards.
I will. Just why not? I'll get rid of my 2 standard crystals. I've got myself another spell. Will help the damage output.
So I've got 3 money. Just gonna buy a charge, I think. I just think crack on now. Unless I get 4 money, I don't have 5 more spells on my discard. That's why I can't do that.
So next up, Rach.
5, 6 damage to the boss. We return a card that costs 4 or less from your discard pile to your hand. 4 or less. Okay, well I guess I'll return this grass blade. Preppy. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 money. Oh, this feels so late to be betting the Rainbow Surge.
Do you get a Chaos Charm? Get rid of fire tokens. But maybe the damage from Rainbow Surge is going to be the only way we do this.
Just got to get through my deck again.
Nemesis.
It's unlikely.
So spend 7 money to get rid of that. In 2 turns time, unleash twice. If there are 3 or less fire tokens on your location, add 1. Otherwise, unleash. And then it's me. So, not mark it. Tom. So there's nothing else to deal damage to, so that's going to be a 5 to the boss. So 28 left. And then have I got some money? It depends on what we're drawing here. So they might as well just go in the spots. So I've got 4. Is this a spell? No. 5. I've not got 7 anyway then. Is this a relic? Yes. So I've got 6 money. So I can't discard the thing. Neither can you on your turn.
You could go us off with last time.
No, at the moment it would put a fire out, and even if it unleashed once, it would be okay. It just we don't know what's coming, do we? So 6, I think. I'm gonna. Well, if I'm opening this breach, I'll put that in that breach, and then I'll buy the last grass blade. Who's next, Rach? Is that
Me.
you?
Okay.
Crystals next time.
So 2, 3, 4, 5 damage on the boss.
Puts down to 23.
Preppy. Right. Do you want to focus the breach? Because yours is closer to opening mine. How many spells? Have you got a lot of spells?
I've got a lot of spells.
Do you have a prep spell that costs 5 or more?
Yes.
You can gain a charge.
Or does it mean you gain a charge?
Oh, so I get 2 charges.
Yeah. Because it doesn't say they get.
Because I'm buying a charge with my... Yeah, I see what you mean. Nice.
You?
I'm not ready. So 3, 4...
4 damage. So 19.
Right.
You got some damage coming up. Meteor strikes come out. That's come out before, hasn't it?
Just like I'm not going again for ages.
No. Just got to last out the boss's 2 turns. I'm doing some damage. I think if we can survive its 2 turns, we might do this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have 5 spells in my discard pile. So 2, 3, 4, 5 money. Wait, how many? 5. So I could buy a charge and then cast it and do 5 damage. So 5. I'll spend 2 to buy a charge.
And that does 5 damage to the
Cast it off, then buy another charge back.
Yeah. Nemesis loses a power token, and then any player discards 3 cards in hand and suffers 2 damage.
Well, you're going to go again, so shall I? Because I could just discard this money.
Yeah. So I would just discard money as well.
Because I can bring a card back as well.
Yeah, go for it. And suffer 2 damage as well. And then put that with your banished cards. Me. So that just deals a damage. This deals 3 damage. And return a card that costs 4 or less from your discard. Best I can do damage-wise is just a grass blade. And then I've got the Fractured Lightning. Casting that would make the enemy unleash. 5, 7, 8, 9, and it wouldn't kill him. We can deal with an unleash. No, that's unleashed twice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
that's
yeah,
what
we've
I
lost.
said to you. That's what I said to you.
Oh yeah, the first. I wasn't looking at the first bit.
Didn't you ever have 7 money?
No, I had 6 money once. Not while that's,
Maybe you'll go next.
while that's been out, we've never had 7
Maybe you'll
money.
go next.
Maybe, but if I do, I won't be able to do 10 damage.
Feeling hopeful then. You told me we wouldn't unleash. We wouldn't lose.
No. Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's kind of been set the whole time. I could hang on to money, but they're just crystals, so what difference has it made?
Yeah, they're rubbish. Which is annoying because I would kill him.
So...
It's really annoying.
I'll buy a charge. I don't think it's worth hanging on to the single crystal unless I have 6 money next time. It's not money. The money's all in one particular hand, I think. So we've lost. But I think that was kind of set in stone a long time ago. So there's no way of doing... You haven't got a grass blade, have you? Your thing isn't going to go off. All I can do with my thing is put cards in your hand. I suppose the card might say, do something great while it's in your hand, but I'd be surprised. So that can do 3 damage.
Just like you can do 6 damage. So is 1 damage away?
Yeah. If I do that 5 damage, there's a good chance it's going to unleash. I don't know if that matters because we lose.
For me, it's just annoying that you're 1 damage away from winning.
No, I've not even got the money to fill my charges up. So you can focus a breach, and you have got a spell prep that's 5 or more, so I gain a charge. And I can buy a charge with 3 money, is all that I've got. But then... on the Nemesis turn, unleash twice, unleashes once, and then oh no, we don't lose yet.
Yeah, you said put a fire token out.
If there are no cards in the... No, that's the rest of this card.
Oh.
If there are no cards in the deck or discard pile, do the persistent effect instead. Oh no, then we lose.
Oh.
Yeah, if there are ever no unnamed cards in play, the discard pile and the deck, we lose. It's not if you need to draw one and you can't. It's just if there are ever no cards, you lose. And so everything went off.
It's annoying because I would have killed it on my turn as well.
Yeah. It's just like, it always gets close. It's always like within a turn of winning or losing.
A bummer. That's that card.
So if the name starts with a letter that's contained in any player's initials.
No.
So write a 2 in the blank, otherwise write a 3 in the blank. So Gravehold suffers more damage. I'm very wary of all of these increased numbers that we've got for the future of the game as well. So
stop going.
That's the first game of Legacy. At the end of the game, if there are 8 or more cards, yes there are. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's all of them. Randomly banish cards until there are 7.
Not happy. But he was trying to climb in the box.
So, I need to banish 2, right? Spidey's gone.
Oh,
and
my
Apple's gone.
favourite, Spinny.
So they've been banished. At the end of the game, once there are 5 to 7 cards under this mat, place all the cards under the mat into envelope 15 and seal it.
The masked woman snaps her book shut suddenly and the bang ricochets through the devastated marketplace. All at once, the creatures freeze in place, their fangs inches from sinking into the throats of the exhausted and defeated mages. There now, I think that's enough, don't you? The mages can do nothing but watch in confusion as the woman begins to reel her creations back in toward her, with nothing but a few careful words and incantations. I appreciate your cooperation, the woman says as her creatures wind in between her legs like affectionate cats. The mages can hear the smile in the mysterious woman's voice, even though her face is obscured by her mask. But all I needed was to properly prepare my creations. You can tell your Brahma that she doesn't need to worry anymore about her pointless divisions of who belongs in this city and who does not. When I have perfected my work, all shall be united. With that, she snaps her fingers and leaps back into the portal, with her menagerie of monsters following in her wake. The void portal winks out of existence behind her. Record this game on the back of this booklet. Write the number of fires on the new Gravehold location on the map, then discard all the fire tokens. So we had just 1 fire token in the end.
That's not too terrible.
What's happened here? What's going on? Kadir turns around to see Brahma hurrying up as fast as she can through the marketplace, leaning heavily on her staff. There was a breach, Kadir explains. A strange woman came through it, probably another mage gone mad from the void power. She appeared human even though she could control Nameless. We managed to fight her off, but she escaped. She said she's gathering more power in order to unite us. Brahma's eyes widen. Zana. Zana is back? She was in the void. With Zaxos, she's a traitor mage as well as one of his power-hungry followers. I exiled her only a few hours ago, and now she must be continuing her plan to overthrow New Gravehold. We know she has the ability to control Nameless. She did the same thing when she was attacking our southern outpost, and she's found some new mages somewhere who must be able to do the same. I didn't recognise the people with her. Perhaps she's discovered an entire new force of recruits, enough to overwhelm our defences. Why would she do that? Gygar recoils. Send monsters into a crowd of civilians? That's awful. There can only be one explanation. Brahma sets her staff firmly in the ground. This is a declaration of war. War! Kadir breathes out, taking Malistar's hand. Don't we already have enough troubles without mages fighting mages? Brahma's stern expression softens. I don't like it any more than you do, but if it's true, we cannot be caught undefended. You four, take what accoutrements for battle you can salvage from the marketplace, and go find what mages you can. We need to consolidate our forces here in New Gravehold. Brahma, not coming? Lost asks. New Gravehold needs a leader, and a defender if worst comes to worst. Besides, Brahma looks sadly down at her staff. I would only slow you down. You can count on us. Malistar steps forward. New Gravehold is our home. We're not going to let it go without a fight. If you are playing with 1 to 2 players, banish all of the tier 2 basic cards from the Nemesis deck.
You can handle upgraded basics next time.
It is weird, isn't it? Set aside the remaining upgraded basic tier 2 and 3 and all of the basic 1 and 3 cards that weren't already banished. Open deck GH1C. Add all of the upgraded basic Nemesis cards to the Nemesis cards you have set aside. You will always use as many of the upgraded Nemesis cards as possible when building the Nemesis deck moving forward. Be sure to follow the rules regarding the end of the game on the Nemesis mat. Then banish the Bishop of Scrolls Nemesis mat and all remaining Nemesis-specific cards. I'm not even going to do this. If there were 5 or more fire tokens, no there weren't. There weren't 8 or more. Okay, so I guess we could have taken some more fire. Add any remaining cards from this deck to your Gravehold barracks, along with your supply cards from game 1.
8 or more fire tokens?
Yeah, well, we didn't get through the deck, did we?
Nah, I suppose not.
And we killed that one that did fire pretty quickly.
I feel like we should have left it now. I feel like we should not have been as worried about it.
Oh, all of those. Add all of the upgraded ones to the thing.
Find a sticker sheet.
Find sticker sheet 1. Sticker rulebook stickers A, B, C and D into the rulebook.
New things, enhancement stickers. Personal and relationship enhancements can be gained using experience. Those stickers are placed here. Each mage can have 2 enhancements of this type active at one time. You're allowed to sticker over one of these stickers if you no longer want to use it.
Where are they placed? Number 14. These. Oh, the big slots on your thing. Yep, point it out.
And then your breaches have also got space for things on them. Each breach has an outline like this that can have a breach enhancement sticker added to it. This breach can be used like any mage that has an affiliation with that sticker.
Okay, you want this biggie?
C. Experience is gained at the end of each game. It's a communal resource that players earn together. It's tracked in the form of experience cards. The narrative book tells you how much experience you gain after each game. It will also tell you when you can spend your experience to gain enhancements. You can choose to save your experience for later by storing it in your barracks. Experience is used to gain enhancements. They make the players stronger for future games. Each enhancement has an experience cost shown next to it on the sticker sheet. Players may choose to spend their experience however they want on the available enhancement stickers. Players are allowed to place enhancement stickers over others, but they will no longer have access to the older effects. There are 5 types. Ones that can go on your breach. The breach number is listed at the start of the effect, so 2 has to go on breach 2. Once a breach has an enhancement, it can be used by any mage that has the same affiliation as the enhancement. Personal. These stickers are applied onto your mage mat and can't be moved to a different mage. Relationship enhancements are similar to personal ones. They have to be on the mage of the mage listed on that sticker. They can't be moved to another mage. Ones that go on your starter cards can be used by any mage that uses that type of starter card. Once it has an enhancement, it can be used by any mage with that affiliation. General are applied to the map. If you're playing with Gravehold, put them along the top of the map. If you're playing with Azure, place them along the bottom of the map.
Like
General enhancements provide a benefit to mages with that affiliation.
It's like spaces.
And then Rulebook D, starting with the second game of the campaign, players may have enhancement stickers on the map, their breaches, their player mat, or their starter cards. During setup, you may place enhanced starter cards anywhere in your hand or starting deck that corresponds with that card's name. So that's all of our extra rules.
So Your group gains 4 XP per player. We didn't win, so we don't get the extra stuff. At the beginning of each game, you'll be able to expend experience to gain enhancements. Add sticker sheet 1, section 1 to your Gravehold barrack. As the group reaches the outskirts of New Gravehold, they find a few mages already waiting for them. Inko is leaned up against the gate, out of breath and a few feet away. Claudia is far more anxious looking than her usual chipper self. Mom! Dad! Claudia calls out as she sees them. Claudia! Malastar rushes up to check on his daughter and make sure she's all right. What's wrong? Why have you come back from your expedition to the ruins? Everything was going super great for so long, but all of a sudden, out of the blue, Claudia makes a huge gesture with her hands like an explosion. Not 1 but 2 nameless come out of these big awful purple portals. We couldn't handle them all on our own, but we couldn't leave the site undefended either. They're going to destroy all the ancient artifacts and everything. I came back here to find you guys. We need help right away. At the ruins? Gygor asks, looking pale at the news of his life's work being threatened. It's the same at Southpost, Inko says, his voice and expression dark. We're pinned down by a nameless that came out of nowhere. Our scouts didn't have a chance to see it. The thing appeared right in front of us. We have some fortifications, but they haven't been fully repaired from when Necroswarm attacked. The people won't hold out much longer without help. Gygor steps forward. All these nameless, they're being summoned by Azana. She was a traitor to the council all along. Brahma sent us to gather as many mages as we could to defend New Gravehold in case she attacks outright. Inko scowls and spits on the ground. Hasn't Zana already hurt Southpost enough? 1 poisoned root infects the whole plant. Nook and I would be happy to help defend New Gravehold, but we can't let the ruins be destroyed. They're too important, and letting these nameless just run rampant isn't good either. Yes, and I'm willing to help as well, Inko agrees, as soon as I know the outpost is secure. Next choice. If you want to help Inko, read section 20. If you want to help Claudia, read section 56.
Who do you want to help, Rach?
I do like Inko.
You can help Inko then?
Sure, let's do it. Thank you, Inko says, letting out a relieved breath. I don't know how much longer we could have held out. Claudia steps forward and hugs her parents. I have to go back and help Nook hold off the monsters. We'll do our best until you come, all right? Just be quick about it if you can. Of course, Kadir promises. Let's get going, Inko says, turning round to face the south. There's no time to lose. Open envelope 12. Add both of the mages there to your Gravehold barracks.
So, there's new Inko, there's Talix. They never prep sparks, they deal 2 additional damage. You can destroy a spark in your discard pile. Harvest up to 2 cards in your hand or discard pile. Resolve the harvest effect of these cards twice. I imagine that Inko has got cards involving harvest.
That's deck IT.
And then we've got their basic cards, basically.
What thing do I need?
It's just their basic cards.
Sticker sheet 4, section 2, and add E and F to your rulebook.
So, E, Severed. These particular void creatures seem to have the uncommon ability to cut a mage off from their source of ether. While such an effect should only be temporary, a mage without a connection to ether would not be able to harness any kind of spell. When a mage becomes severed, place a severed sticker over the affiliation seal in the upper left-hand corner of the front of their player mat. This mage cannot be played after you finish fighting this nemesis. If you're instructed to immediately replay the nemesis, you may use this mage for that game. When you are finished fighting that nemesis, the narrative booklet will instruct you to read a passage if there are severed mages. Read that passage in the narrative book, and then set that mage aside for the rest of the campaign, as you're not allowed to use them again.
Oh, that means that they just can't get any ether anymore.
But as well, that's someone you could have upgraded loads. What?
Yeah, but from story-wise as well, they can't do what they were born to do anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
I don't feel like upgrading a mage anymore. When a mage is severed, they cannot fight anymore, so they pass along their tools to the rest of the mages. After reading the text related to the severed mage, you'll be directed to a sticker, which must be applied for the next game. They function like enhancement stickers, but they don't have a cost, and some are used to enhance a mage's ability. They're applied to a player mat and resolve it.
So they give a power to someone else.
Yeah, when they've been severed.
Yeah.
They'll help someone else out.
Oh, that's it. We're ready to begin the next game. Read section 37.
Okay.
Just remember that in your mind, everybody. Number 37.
Right. So there we go then. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of writing, a lot of Nemesis turns. The Nemesis got to play a lot of cards in that. And yeah, that is chapter 1 of our Legacy of Gravehold. I hope you enjoyed that. Let you know a taste of what the Legacy experience is like.
It was okay. It was alright.
Yeah, it's just like...
It's a shame.
It'll be cool, that stuff coming back. It's just...
I'm just salty that I Could have killed it next turn.
Yeah, I started deteriorating a bit when it was just like unleash twice more and then get ready to unleash 2 more times. Like having 4 turns in a row as well, where it was just, it had all these abilities that just kept chaining unleashes. It's like, I don't think we really had a chance from there. Although we got close, didn't we? It doesn't, even though we could have got its number down to 1, it doesn't feel like we got anywhere close to winning in that. I'd say at this point. And yeah, not that pumped about game number 2, to be honest. But there we go. Would you like to see more Aeon's End Legacy? Because I think in general, we've done a lot of Aeon's End, and they have been older games that I can understand not having the interest that something new and shiny would have. And this is Legacy, and maybe you don't want to be spoiled on it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll play the rest at some point in private. Maybe we'll keep streaming it. I don't know.
Oh, I thought we were just playing it.
I don't know. It's just that, like, it's a big thing to do all of the time. And in general, there's like, I'm glad that you're all here watching, but I don't know how many people are really bothered about it. So if you are bothered, make yourselves known. Maybe it just needs a bit of a cool down and I'll feel better about it. Thank you for watching this though. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed there's been no tearing up of cards. There's been plenty of writing on cards. Arguably too much writing on cards consecutively. But yes, thank you everyone for being here. I'd like to help things keep going. Hey, let your voices be known and join us on patreon.com/slickerdrips. Helps make things better and keep them happening, really. It's the only reason we're able to do this. And this got like a good amount of votes in last month's Patreon poll. But yes, thank you everyone for spending time with us, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.